Hey guys, Carl Reeder here, and I'm really excited to be delivering this series of videos for ACCA. And today what I want to be talking about is setting up your own practice, going it alone. What would I advise you? And actually, do you know what? I'm gonna look at myself in this and what would I do differently? Because if you're starting a practice yourself, or indeed if you're rebooting it, you know, if you're pressing Control Alternate Delete or whatever the Apple Mac alternative is and restarting this whole thing, you've got a golden opportunity because you have a blank canvas and you can design the way that your practice looks. So I've seen a number of new micro practices evolving recently, and I see some great things that they're doing, and there are some things, as you know, I hate to say it as an old hand, that I've had a tough paper round, but I see what they're doing and I think, oh my word, you've got this perfect opportunity to do things differently, to not do what your boss did or what your boss's boss did. Yeah, there's a great story that I would like to just bring in here, and I apologise in advance to all vegetarians, but I heard this from a personal development speaker, so I would like to convey it as accurately as possible. There was a husband and wife, and the wife was always cutting the two ends off of her meat before putting it in the oven. And the husband said, why do you do it like that? And the wife said, it's the way I've always done it. This is how I was taught to cook. So anyway, she was thinking about it, and she thought, do you know what, my mum taught me how to cook. I'm going to phone up my mum. So she phoned her mum and said, Mum, why do you cut the two ends off the meat? And Mum said, I don't know, it's the way I've always done it. I'm going to go and ask Nan. She asked Nan, why did you cut the two ends off the meat? Because I had a small cooker. And that's the reality. There's a lot of things that we do in our day-to-day life which have been inherited as the way we've always done things without questioning why we've always done them in that way. So this blank canvas allows you the perfect opportunity to critically appraise every step in your process. Now, the first thing that I would strongly urge is that you have an extremely clear definition of who your ideal customer is. Many practices in the past have fallen foul of needing cash, needing to pay the bills, and ultimately having the vanity of a higher turnover. And I would strongly counsel against that, because once you get to a certain point, you realise that you're stuck with a bunch of D-grade clients with a few superstars. Instead, why not define what those superstars look like right at the outset? Who is your ideal client? Who would you get out of bed for every morning with a smile on your face to work for them? Once you've worked out who those people are, you can then tailor your marketing, your messaging, you can tailor your networking locations, you can tailor everything directly towards them to make sure that you attract the right people that you need. You will also be able to develop your industry specialisms to help you charge an appropriate amount for that. Once you've done that, you can set out a clear path then of how your practice looks. And the second thing that I would suggest is that many firms focus on tech at the moment, but there's two sides of technology. You've got internally facing tech and externally facing tech. And at the moment, I'm going to be honest with you, fintech providers will hate me for saying this, but they're all providing external facing tech. They want to sell high volumes to the end customers, okay? We need to be crystal clear on that. And that's absolutely fine. But there's a second part to this, which is the internal tech to manage your practice. Because it's all well and good selling software that can help your clients. But if your practice is being patched together by a few sheets of A4 paper, an Excel spreadsheet, and some sticking tape, do you know what? It's going to fall apart as you scale. So use this opportunity of a blank canvas to design how your processes and how your workflows look. What kinds of automation can you put in place? And look at your client journey from cradle to grave. How are you going to attract the prospect? How are you going to follow through their progress through a CRM system? How will you engage them? How will you take payments? How will you service them throughout the life of their journey? And then at the end, should you lose the client through just general client churn or for any other reason, how will you manage that process as well? You can also then look at staffing systems and so on. It's about finding the processes and the right procedures underneath it. Now, this stuff sounds really boring when you're setting out, but even if you're just thinking about it and making a list of the stuff that would be really good to look at tomorrow, that's a start, and it will get you wondering, what else can I put into my firm? So we've established that you need to have a clear vision on who your clients are, and you need to work on your internal tech as well as the external tech that you deliver your clients. The third thing I would say is find what makes you really special in this world. Why would somebody do business with you? rather than anyone else. Look, I know for my firm that when we were growing quite rapidly, but we're in a town called Swindon in the UK, and there's probably about 60 firms. Why would people choose us over the 59 other firms? Because it certainly weren't on price. It certainly weren't on location, because we were outside of the town centre. And you know what, I can't even say it's because of the coffee. So for us, we looked at client experience, we looked at staff engagement, which then delivered client experience. We looked at what we could do to differentiate ourselves in the marketplace. We also found our industries and really got into depth on them. We really got to know the ins and outs of those industries so that we could be the only choice for those industries. So work out what makes you special, why your clients will come to you. You combine that with a clear idea of the clients that you want coming to you and solid structure behind your business, and you're bound to make a success of it.